actually yes. Kat still have the Kit Kat jingle. Okay, I'm playing Nioh. Nothing like some 4 o'clock in the morning East Coast Nioh, I guess. May as well tweet it out for the 2 people that are awake, like I am. Alright. I've actually done all the story missions on stream aside from one. That was one where we went from one continent to the other continent. This region. Yeah. That was the main mission. And I'm glad I skipped that one, because that's the one with all the poison mine equipment stuff. Yeah, that would not have been fun, doing that on stream. So, one after that... Again, I never promised to do this whole game on stream, certainly. It'd be basically not doing it at all. But I went from the last mission that I did on stream, went to this region, big squid monster attacked the ship that we were on. Then I went into these mines that have all the poison like stuff, and you have to suck all the poison out with machines. I don't know why I did that. It's just something that happened, and that was the last story missions. I skipped one thing. So here we are at the ocean roars again. And I hope this isn't the one where I have to fight the big squid monster at the very end. Because I remember the map of this one being. There's a ghost taunting, yeah. This bit. Gonna be a fun one. It's gonna suck. Whatever. Alright. So tell me, anyone that's actually awake right now, why are you awake? Why are you awake? Are you... If you're awake in Europe, it's gotta be morning. Like, it just got to be morning. If you're awake in Australia, slightly more reasonable. It's... What? No? No, it would be near the... It would be near the end of the night. Or you're just human garbage like me, so awake just because. Like, my sleep rotates like crazy and has for my whole life, so it's how it is. Is this what I remember it? Oh. I think so. I think this is what I remember it being. I think. Oh, no, this is a completely different mission. Boink. Boink. What the fuck? That was red. I was thinking, I haven't played this in a couple days. I was thinking a couple days ago on the nature of, oh yeah, on the nature of how games are supposed to be played, like what the intention is, like what the pacing is, and like that. Like in the case of, like, I had a falling out with Dead Cells for. Where with Dead Cells, the game obviously wants you to go really, really fast all the time. Because the more time that you spend, like if you come to a room in Dead Cells, and you see a monster down there, and you actually try to, like, think and plan, well, if I throw, like, a turret down here, and do this, or do that, or whatever, then you'll end up... That's more... If you do that, the more time that you spend, planning out things in Dead Cells, the more at risk you are of just dying, or taking damage, at least. So in Dead Cells, the obvious intention is that you're supposed to go in guns blazing, and just treat it as an action game. Just try to face-fuck things as best you can while making good decisions along the way. If you try to plan, you'll fuck yourself. So with Nioh here, it's sort of similar in that respect. Not in the sense of combat progression, although it sort of is. Oh wow, thanks. A slightly sharp rock. Oh, okay. How did... This industrial complex was once holy ground? Fantastic. Why are there like, what's going on here? Like, is there some reason why this cloth is missing? Alright, but as I was saying about Nioh. Kind of makes me wonder... Every time. Like, every time I play this, I always have to make some comment about them positioning enemies, like, right beside a doorway, or... It's like the only thing that they know to do. But in regards to Nioh, it makes me wonder, do they want you to actually explore the environment, or do they want you to just blitz the area as fast as you possibly can? He's positioned down there to be a nuisance if you go down that path, but that you come up here and kill his friend, and he's like, well, let me go run around. Here he comes. And he's exhausted when he gets here. Like, he was out of stamina whenever he showed up, because he was sprinting the whole way around. Poor man. Poor fool. What I should have done was, after he finally reached the boat, like, just stepped off the edge, landed on the ground on the other side, so he had to sprint all the way back around. What I should have done. No, this is the map that I thought. So this is gonna suck blistering asshole. Yeah, I'm not gonna enjoy this. PC runs fine. It just has weird control problems that I've been over several times. Fuck, buddy. Know that you want me to run over there so something can sneak attack me. Have better things to do. Okay. I remember finding all the little naked dudes on this particular map is kind of a pain in the posterior. Figure that. Wonder if anything will... Oh, actually something didn't attack. Usually they'll put enemies there like that as bait to try to encourage you to race over and deal with them. Only to have like 5 other guys. Like, look at this. Like, I am so fucking wise to Nioh's tricks. Like, they are so goddamn predictable. As long as you know that the creators of this game are fucking assholes, and they're just like cockwad assholes, then you can predict anything as far as like layout goes. Oh, he actually survived. Look at that. Good for him. He survived with his 1 health point and then mildly inconvenienced. Good for him. Kinda. The one problem that I really have with this, you can see how fast that dude responded to me whenever I turned the corner. So often, even if you know that an ambush is right there, you'll still turn a corner and try to attack, but your attack will be so slow and they'll be so fast because they're just... There's no surprise animation where they go, whoa, you know, or anything like that. They just attack you. So often, regardless of whether or not you see an ambush or not, they're positioned so close to your face that there's no way that you could actually... do anything about it. Nature. Still have my Tonfa, I just don't have as much use. Because it doesn't... It's just not really that important. Like its main function, I guess, is... Like, I've been over this before, but the Tonfa, apparently, I was led to believe in part 1 that, I should try the Tonfa. But it turns out, oh no, the Tonfa is widely said to be the worst weapon in the game. Well, I was fooled. I don't have to continue using it or anything. I still like the general idea of it. And I also am fine with this weapon. Especially since my first or whatever playthrough of this game months and months and months ago, it was spear and axe. I'm definitely not going to use swords, because why would you? So this is kind of just a natural option anyway. But I have a talking cat. My auto-translator. I mean, it didn't get this far. This is, like, 3 missions in. Bat Witch, she was like the first boss in the game. Man, you guys really didn't get far, did you? Accident. It is so easy to accidentally fall in a hole in bubble. Confidence. Oh. back to whatever this thing is called. Kusaraga Nagi or whatever. Okay, let's see how many ambushes are in this room. Oh, actually no ambushes? Really? Are you sure? Are you sure one of these walls isn't gonna collapse in and then some huge Oni is gonna... Oh, there he is! There he is! fucking knew it. I did not remember that he was in here. I just assumed that something like that was gonna happen. Like the only time I actually get surprised by that sort of behavior is whenever I'm just not paying attention because I'm talking. Yeah, you could walk in and like just hold up your block. In some cases, you're just not gonna attack them first, though. You have to like give them a chance to attack you. I did kind of enjoy doing that. Just poking them in the face, harmlessly. Am I still enjoying the game? It's a loose sort of entertainment. There. Pet peeve of mine whenever these range dudes attack you and then they just reload and reset so fast that they can attack you again before you can approach. Sure got me. Glad I'm over level. Thought of this game would just be a big mess. Really, this is the best way to play Nioh. Think about this the other day. Because there was something that you do on the other region, the first region. You have to get into a duel with this guy. And I think it was the final fight that you could get into in the original demo of this game. That guy cheats like crazy. And Nioh, Team Ninja, specifically, this is the Team Ninja problem. They're one of those, oh, difficulty. And you can actually see the hand job this. Discord was in OBS. 0 drop frames. Okay. But difficulty, they're one of those studios. So this boss, like you can tell the way that they are. Like you can tell the personality of the studio just by things like that. A guy just standing around the corner, just you know, just like days on end, just waiting in case someone comes around the corner. But this boss was a great example of that. Like, just cheats liberally. One of these bosses where almost every one of his moves is a one-hit kill, or at least a 3-hit kill. You can get him one hit before you have to reset and back off, so you never get the satisfaction of actually dealing a huge combo to him. Stuff like that. I remember that guy was here, but I thought, well, maybe I can get away with it. I could not. This is where it starts getting wonky. That's the boss room, right? But you can't open it because you don't have a key. But that dual boss is a great example of this bullshit design, but it's also a great example of, I don't know if I have a term for this, but there are fans that if they love difficulty in games, they're willing to put up with absolutely anything. And to them, even needing to be like frame perfect on things, is completely reasonable. So, to me, it's very apparent that the boss was not particularly fair. And if you, like, Google something like a... What the... Oh, right. These... Alright. And of course they have hyper armor. damn it. Oh, this. Thank you. Trying to figure out how to switch weapons. What was I talking? There are fans that I just describe sort of in my head as being enablers, difficulty enablers, people that it doesn't matter how completely unreasonable a boss is, because you can do something after like 2 hours of trying to do something, then to them, oh, it's completely reasonable. All right. God, I hate that fucking hyper armor shit. Need to find a better way of dealing with these little fuckers. So, I really can't stand fans like that, specifically, because in my head, nothing ever gets done because of them. Because the developer could remember my little tirade about the perfect, overly difficult boss, where it just picks you up. You have one frame of animation where you can like move out of the way, but otherwise, as soon as you come into the boss arena, it grabs you and does one hit kills you. Then you get the I can finally do that. The why'd you die? Where I shake my head back and forth. You guys never got to see that before, but I shake my head back and forth ever so slightly. That's the thing that pisses off my best friend. So it can be that bad, and the enablers will still do that. They'll still defend it because it's technically feasible. And the worst versions of that are the ones that take 3 hours to beat a boss, and they just barely do it one time. And then afterwards, they will say, oh, it was easy. It took me 2 tries. Like, they just lie out their ass because they enjoy the process of doing it for that long. And they sense that if they admit that it took them forever, then it would work against what they want. So they'll just lie. They'll just lie about the results. Those are also not great people, I'll say. Don't much care for them. It's nice of the game to allow me to attack this guy while he's getting up. See, they can attack me the moment that I turn a corner. But this guy, no, you gotta give him a chance. It would be unfair to the enemy. You just could attack him. Clearly unfair. Justified. The poor enemy needs consideration. And of course, they get good, like, toxic mentality that's been created over the past few years. You guys know. Yeah, Teen Ninjas always. I think they probably had one too many stances. Because if you look up most of the weapons, usually each weapon has like one stance that people say, oh, this is a really good one that I use all the time. Then there'll be another one that's kind of like circumstantial for something. Then there's another one where people admit, it's not really good for anything, except for like this one situation. But they probably could have narrowed it down to 2 from like Tonfa's. Like here's basic attack on Tonfa, heavy attack. There's medium attack. Like they look almost exactly the same. And light. You can tell light's the one that's dramatically different. Oh, and each one is different. And some of them, light and medium, are nearly the same thing. And in some of them, like I think Tonfa is an example. Is it Tonfa? I think so. It's mainly like, it's the parry stance or what. It's the stance that's made for doing nothing except for breaking stamina. So it has a lot of options to that goal, but most of them don't do anything, or people don't actually use them. There's a lot of bloat in this who try to make sure that all the stances are worn. Back to my actual weapon. Come on. Try not to fall off the edge. Yeah, and especially since high stance does the best damage, you end up you're kind of encouraged just to use high stance for everything if you can get away with it. So you sort of you develop this mentality of high stance is the real stance, but if you encounter an enemy where it's just so slow that you can't cheat your way through it, then you better drop down one. You better drop to light for some specific reason. Could be better. One of these assholes again. I need to figure out a better way of deep. Amazing. Nope, no getting a drop on the enemy. No, that would be unfair. Enemy gets to attack you with 0 frames of startup. Goes right into the attack animation. Because why wouldn't? Ah. I seem to remember, it must be on the a side mission where there's a giant yokai, right? Trying to, like, I'm looping together a bunch of. Come here, sweetheart. Aw. Yeah. A bunch of pastrami and salami are. I love salami though. Really like salami. Pretty sure there's. I can't remember what that. I used one of those bottom ones. A devigorate. I'm guessing this is a buff to your weapon that makes enemy attack power go down. I was able to use it without targeting it even. Either it's an AoE that always works with things around you, something that requires you to hit an enemy before it works. Don't know either way. I put it on there because it was available. I'm not falling for that trick. Damn it. Fire. Yeah, you can just barely get one of those off. Archers in this game fire a little bit too fast, considering that if I was using a mouse, it wouldn't be that. If I wanted to actually, like, lean over and do that real fast, it'd be simpler. Oh, I would rather find all the little new dudes this time around, if possible. Probably not going. This particular mission used to be much more difficult because I was not so overleveled. Thanks. I still need to get 200 toughness. That's something that I learned the other day, is that the reason why I was having so much trouble with some of these enemies and their hyper armor is because there's no such thing as hyper armor in the game, actually. It's not like it is in a Souls game where an enemy will have, you know, like a big axe or something. So they'll get hyper armor on this attack for this long. That's it. Or you'll do the same thing. Like you have a, like more so in like Dark Souls 3 or Demon. It's actually a case of there's a stat called There's a stat called toughness. Wonderful, yeah. There's a stat called toughness in the game. And if the enemy has a shit ton of toughness, then they get hyper armor on everything. It's like Dark Souls 1 poise. And as much fun as you can have with Dark Souls 1 poise, it was not a good system. It was actually a really bad system. Because you don't want people to have super poise on dagger attacks and just face fuck people to death. Exactly what happened. And in the case of, like, Nioh here, you don't want the same problem to happen where people are getting super armor on any attack that they want to, as long as they have shit tons of toughness. This guy's gonna kill me. I'm gonna get him one sneak attack, and he's going to ignore it and attack me anyways, and I'm going to fall off the edge. Most. Come on, sweetness. Really trying to avoid. Yep, you're on. Actually surprised I didn't die in the process. That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted that particular engagement to be so awkward and against your advantage that you don't really have any option other than to risk falling off something. Because Team Ninja is full of assholes that would rather make something intentionally unfair, encourage you to die, rather than actually design something that is both fair and functional. They're ass. Congratulations, Steve. Got a great shitty name. Like me. You can parry in this game, but good luck landing them. Window is a little tight. Notice this guy right here? He's transparently in him. What they want you to do is go over there and try to pick that shit up so he can attack you from behind. Again, because Team Ninja is full of assholes. Oh, you figured it out! Better cheat. Too late. That noise. Oh, it's the sound of something shooting you in the ass. This is sort of the game that I would love to have a developer next to me so I could, like, just do this. Like, really? And you know that he would be like, oh, me, like, he would be doing that shit. He'd be one of those people. Like, that's who I imagine, how I know that dude exists and that he made this game. This is probably like half the development stuff right there. Yeah, this map sucks. Oh, I know this game is absolutely rife with bullshit. This is the main complaint that I've gotten about this game, from looking it up and people talking about it, is that they thought the game was neat and that it had a lot of interesting things in it, but it just kept the difficulty, kind of kept them from enjoying it. Not that it was too hard. It's one of those games where, really, like that, like, you can deal with it, but it's just kind of dickish anyways. It's one of those games that tires you out with the nature of its difficulty. It's not too hard. Definitely isn't too hard. It's just, it's a real twat about it. You know? It's a game that it isn't difficult, it's just enough, it's difficult enough, and it's really twatty about its difficulty. Really rubs it in your face, like, haha, me. I'm like, okay, I know. Could you stop doing that for a little bit? I really would love to enjoy your game if you would just stop being a twat. Like, no, I'm a twat. I guess this is how they are. Oh. These guys are so weird. The weapons are a lot more fun once you actually unlock special attacks like that to use with them. Unfortunately, they're mission locked, so you're just not allowed. Like, even if you grind and try to get XP to work your way towards them, the game will not allow you to actually get to a certain mission, which I don't like at all. Like, I understand it, but I wish that was not the case. Oh, I would love to find other Kodamas. It's not even really cheap. Like, the difficulty is not cheap exactly. Well, it is sort of cheap, because there's a lot of guys just hiding around corner. But eventually you learn to anticipate it because they do it so often. Like, if it happened one time ever, that would be cheap. Shit. It is fucking good. Well, it even allow me to... It looks like it's going to try to force me into taking a hit from this guy. Like, near all this. Find out. I've managed to dodge, just barely. Look at all this fucking, like, all the fucking holes in the ground. All over this map. For no reason other than, haha, we'll make them fall in the water and one hit kill them. We won't actually have to make the player engage with the environment. We can just use the environment to force them into having a bad experience. At no fault of their own. You should have watched where you were dodging. I was. Well, you should have done it better. Ha 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 ha. Like, it's amazing how many developers are like that. The fact that it's like this frags make me think that something you can. This is where we are. I'm actually amazed that I haven't fallen in water yet. Like, it's so... I will say this about Nioh. So weird. Hit. You said. Didn't even get him one hit before he was able to do that. Odd. I talked about that in my B playthrough whenever I was fighting the Sanctuary Guardian. How if you're going to have a game like this, it's important to be able to allow the player to feel a sense of, like, engagement with the combat, so that, like, you're pulling off a set number of combos. Like a good, like, bam, 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 and then one big final thing. Like, you actually earn a combo. And that's where most of your damage comes from. Whereas a bad example of implementing sort of interface with the combat system against bosses or general enemies is things like that, where you're able to get in one hit, and then that's it. And you have to disengage in order to protect yourself. And you just have to keep waiting for them to do something so that you can get in, again, one hit. Then you're able to wait around for the next engagement where you get in one hit of damage. A lot of bosses in Nioh are like that. It's not fun. Could be better. Could be better. One of those little new dudes right there. See him. See him. Don't care about Sekiro or old shadows. Die. Don't care. I'm glad that the chat actually moves space, so I can rant for a set amount of time, then look back over and read all of it at once. And it pretty much scrolled one, like, unit, one page. Apparently there are more duels later on in the game. That first one I was not impressed with at all. Both whenever I played the game the first time and whenever I played it recently. Actually, this one I just straight up just cheated. Like, I was like, I don't have time for this today. I don't have the patience for this today. So I just said, I'm just gonna lock my fucking health. So I locked my health, like banged it out in 2 tries. Funny story, he actually killed me the first time because he does so much damage with 1 hit that he still managed to bleed all the damage through my entire health bar and kill me even through the cheating. Like, I've beaten him before. Whenever I did it on console, I think it took me something like 15 tries, something like that. It took quite a while for me. So, I actually, like, just hung around him the first time, just watching him, trying to remind myself of what his moveset actually was. Like, oh yeah, it's all coming back to me now. The hiding behind the rock, the using the spear to get in, like, 1 hit while he's doing his 1-hit kill, like, setup move that he does, and then just luring him around until you get him behind that rock, and then you do it again. It's just that over and over and over. It was not fun. Although the second, actually even cheating it wasn't fun. So I just banged that out and got it out of the way as fast as I could get it out of it. Certainly not an experience I wanted to have a second time. How do I open up the shortcut? I feel like I get attacked by, like, blob things that pop out of the water. No, maybe this other one. This is just this gentleman. Thank you. Never be careful. I remember this. Most of the problem that I see people have with this game is it usually involves the bosses. And I don't have any fond memories of any of the bosses in this game. It's not something I would spend a huge amount of time ranting about, I guess. They're not very good. They aren't very good. Say that. Kind of just a pain in the dick. Okay, where's the enemy? Oh, there he is. Every time. It's so easy. You just know they're doing it every single time. Is there a corner where you can't see something? There's an enemy there. There's going to be. Amazing. I did remember enjoying the spear. Because they did a lot more with it, certainly, than the Souls games ever did. Souls games is just, and that's all you do. Because that's, for some reason, all FromSoft can think of is, well, there's spears, you poke forward, right? That's all you do, right? But in Nioh, you actually, like, do disarm moves, and you do, like, setups, and pull people in, and there's all sorts of interplay with the weapon. Way more creative. Alright, sir. Get your attack in. And I'm forced to allow you to perform since you're ready to attack me. Within milliseconds of seeing me. Because this is Nioh. You're just like this. Old style cheat codes? Well, this is the era of if you're cheating at all, then you're like doing something unethical and immoral. Like, even though it's your game and you're just like, it's something that's there for your entertainment. So if you're having a bad time, then you're a moral, just person. But if you enjoy yourself in a way that other people don't approve of, then you're a bad person. Which is, if you took that attitude back, like, to the NES era, they would laugh at you because you're a fucking idiot, obviously. It's amazing. My opinion is that this is your time to waste, so if you want to press the button that wins the game for you and displays the credits, hey, knock yourself out. Like, all that's fine, but if you're gonna, like, complain about the game being too easy or something like that in the process, and it turns out, oh, you just cheated through the whole thing? Yeah. Right. Then yeah, obviously, your opinion is not worth anything. really wish you could combo at heavy attack. I understand why you can't. Oh, this is the Young Blood armor, I think. What do you guys think about the Young Blood armor? There's not many armor sets in Nioh I actually like, because, like, most of them have that dumb, like, wood pauldron that all Japanese armors have that they were so in love with. Like, it is good that they all have the means to deflect blows away from the face and protect the arm. Like, it's good that they're there, but I just don't like the way that they look. Just not the fault of history. As far as fashion goes, all of them have that. Except for like one or two of them. But I like the Young Blood set, and there's one or two other ones that I actually like. Although I can't remember what the names of them are. I swore there was a way of opening up a shortcut. Guess not. Having vague memories. Seems like there was a way of opening up like a door. I'm like inventing memory. Alright, I guess we'll just go back around the long way. I forget the objective of this mission is to light all these sconces. I completely forgot about that. I was just clearing out the map. I won't. I can't go the way that I got in here. How do I get out of here? This is that. And that is this. How is it? Oh, I see you. Get on in. What killed cheat codes? I don't know. I mean, they stuck around for a while, didn't they? I remember them in the PS1 era, sir. And GTA games still have them. I don't know. I guess just it's a matter of just developers just not caring anymore. Maybe it became too wide known. No idea. Be something kind of interesting to look at. I'm sure there's a video made by a 14-year-old somewhere on YouTube that explains the whole thing. Based on knowing. There's... Let's see. Because I got here using this. I can't go up that way because there's nothing there. So there must be a door or something that links back to the main area. So I was actually right, but I'm not sure where that is. In here. What? There are no breakable walls in the Umbri. It's a great decision. Swore there was supposed to be like a door. Wait. What the hell? Oh, okay. I don't remember those being a dude. That's what it was. You have to remove a talisman. So simple. Yeah, I actually did beat Contra one, maybe a few times. I do remember beating Contra without using the codes. You have to be very, very careful, and you have to have played it a whole lot. I probably, even with 30 lives, I probably couldn't beat Contra. But back whenever I was a kid, like we got the NES way after, like, the SNES came out, because I think we fished it out of a dump or something. I never had a SNES. We found a lot of good things in the dump. Like, again, we were super... we got it way after the fact, and... yeah, and, our NES had wires on the back that were frayed, because that's the reason why it got thrown out. So, ever so often, because of it just sitting there, over time the wires would get more and more kind of fucked up. So we would ever so often have to strip the wires and then re-tie them together and then like duct tape it back together to make sure that the connection stayed. Eventually the NES got to the point where there was just nubs, like the wires just were just gone. So at that point I had to stop playing it NES. Up until then, probably like, I don't know, like 95, 96, whenever we got the NES. Around that time frame, playing a lot of Contra, Double Dragon 2, the baseball NES game. That was a really good game. One of those games where I would set up like personal weird challenges to see how many home runs like that. Everything in this entire level looks like it's fall through death. Horrible screeching death. Stop that. She being murdered, and her response to that is, cut it out. Stop murdering me. This is such an inconvenience. Oh, you're here. Forgot about you. Well, I better tag that. I will regret it. But I was thinking about all the things that I've killed up in this point that are going to reappear. But most of them are on the other side, so probably not that big a deal. Honk, honk, honk. Love that honking noise. Never gets tiresome. Oh, stop. Wish I'd have gotten a little bit more out of it. These guys are, like, simultaneously easy, but also, like, not, like that. Like, it's super dangerous, especially since they can probably kill me in one hit. At least two. One of those enemies that's kind of easy, but their attack animations are fast and aggressive enough. And they're unpredictable enough, because sometimes they'll just stand there. Like, they'll just stand there and just go, ooh, you know, and you'll just have to guess, well, are they going to attack or aren't they? Or are they just going to do a little thing, a little juke, so that they can attack you whenever you go in? So they're very unpredictable. Not a bad enemy, just obviously being nearly killed in one hit, or sometimes just straight up just killed in one hit. Will make you not feel great things about them. That is true, though. Having to be careful about everything, because I don't want to miss any little tiny naked men. I'm doing fine here. Probably shouldn't be talking this. Running my mouth. I'm just gonna tire myself. I can feel my voice getting dry. Oh, look at that. I could probably drop attacking. I could probably drop attack this enemy, and it would probably result in them completely ignoring the fact that I had done it. So I'll do it. Yep, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. You need to be punished for thinking cleverly. How dare you? See, that's what should have happened. Whenever you get the drop on an enemy by doing something clever, the enemy just ignores that you did it, and then you get punished for doing it. That's proper game design. I love the fact that I was able to guess that's the exact scenario that was going to happen, even though it looks like it's something that should have worked. Just from playing this game, like, I know how they think. Like, they're gonna fuck you. Fair enough. Well, let's let Princess look into the night air and then turn around and then walk away. Precious ain't. Oh, fuck off. Oh, I'm on mediums. Thought my animations looked weird. I'm glad that blocking... Oh, this I was going to say like a long time ago, like 30 minutes ago. Had this impulse. But one thing that I do like about Nioh is that they really would rather you block attacks in most cases rather than just try to dodge it. Like, Bloodborne is super bad about that, about how... Like, it's so obsessed with just spamming... I can't do it here because it's like death incarnate. But, you know, just, oh, I'm at risk in combat, I'll just, like, just spin around in circles and just press B wildly, and that will solve every problem that ever could happen to me. Bloodborne is really mindless. Not that you can beat Bloodborne by just pressing the B button. Its combat system kind of trivializes itself in some. So I just have to go back. Oh, I can... Oh, yeah. So, with Nioh, it is refreshing that, even though it's so Bloodborne-like in some ways, there's no, obviously, no... Even though that's the case, it is nice that blocking does something. Just a shitty damage reduction that no one wants to actually use. Because why would you intentionally take damage when you could just fly away for fleet mitigation? I might have to stop and look up a naked boy guide. Let's see where all of those dudes are. Or God's treasure. What? If you buy the skills, you do the ultimate skills. During... What? That probably makes sense. Oh, he's angry. How dare you come somewhat near me? I'll attack the air and hiss violently. Be a warning. Alright. Can't go that way. Stone! Thank goodness. I think I have 99 stones. I haven't really used them. Haven't got the stones. Hello. Am I supposed to be concerned about you? No, he's probably not going to give up, is he? Is he just... Oh, okay. Curious if he was just going to leave or what. Ha! Yes. I think that's the first one of those encounters I got through without actually taking any damage. I think it's the first one I encountered where I actually got the drop on them and they didn't immediately attack, too. This is the boss fight. Can I actually start this already? Definitely not going to. This is a boss that I spent a lot of time helping other players. Almost looks like an item pickup right there. Dive into the water and try to find... Oh. Did I ever go up there? I don't think I ever went up onto those roofs because you can, like, get behind me. Don't mind the sounds of something spinning around in the air. Yep, nothing to see here. Isn't it kind of weird that they're just dudes? Those weren't demons, they're just guys. In an area in which there were also demons. Which is kind of... It's something that is kind of like world building, because I think the logic is that people are being transformed into demons. So having both, like at the beginning of the area it's humans and then later on it's like evil monsters, does make some sense. So I'll sort of give that to them. But at the same time, why don't they just leave? I have a kick. I can kick people. They go flying off and don't be live anymore. I showed him how to not be live. Yeah, it is very video gamey that everyone just fucking hates. Everyone in the world can ally themselves with the common goal of ensuring that you do not continue to exist. Again. Wow, that pushed me back really far. I don't really care about your shitty drops, so... Why did it allow me to... Because I can fall... Ah, it's because I can fall down right. First, is there anything over there? Can I even walk over there? I can. Is there any... Oh, whoa, don't do that. Is there any point to actually going over here? There it is. Oh, it's an evil monster that can... kill me in one hit that I have no room to actually fight. How wonderful. The little ticket men. Don't you dare. This I think always makes me nervous whenever ladders are like this. They're positioned right next to like a death pit. So whenever you come off the thing, you're holding backwards because you're climbing down. But for that, like, one frame, your guy turns like, death? Or like, no, die. Bad. Look at that, I got them all. Just by pure accident, look at that. Aren't I a handsome lad? A grand adventure. The controls for doing ultimates or whatever ultimate game different depending on what your settings are. When people describe them, it doesn't make any sense. Still down there. Now it's forcing me into the same situation where I have to do a plunging attack, and he'll completely ignore it. Oh, I actually did break him this time. Oh, because I got his horns on the way down. Lucky me. Princess Eli wins again. Oh, that was the one that's just standing there waiting for an turn. Great. I think I found a new hobby. I have to be careful because I'm fearing that I will kick them off, but in the process of kicking them, he will go flying off the edge as well, which would be sort of worth it, but also not. He died. Like, he died in the process of doing. Fuck's that? Can't read. Tired all over the place. Is Guerla. Thanks, buddy. Wish I could pronounce your name. Wish I could deal with this tiny ape man. See, we're not wearing pants? I think that old boy wouldn't wear pants. He's dead now. As is the case with most old boys that won't wear pants in public. Common thread of life. Don't wear pants. Die. Then they put pants on you. Funny thing about life. Even if you died without pants, they'll put pants on you. The ground. Unless you're murdered. Then they don't put pants. Well, they might. Usually not out of courtesy. Oop. Oh, I love that honking. It's music to my ear. Why am I here? Oh, yeah, you can open it. I wouldn't describe the Tonfas as being good. Like, I've never seen anyone say the Tonfas are a great weapon. In my research, trying to, like, find what are the best Tonfa stances, what are the best Tonfa skills, no one ever says anything, like, great about Tonfas. No one's like, oh, fuck yeah, Tonfas. It's always the argument of, well, you can use them and they're just as good. Like that argument, whenever you know that the thing sucks that they're talking about, but they just refuse to admit it. It's always that argument. You can always tell. Because it's always from this, well, if you're good enough, then you can still do it and they're still the best. It depends on player skill. And that's when you know, oh, so it sucks then. It just sucks. Closest shrine. I think the closest shrine would be that one. No? Actually, I think it might... Yeah, I think it is this one. Better situate myself over here. It does mean I'm probably going to have to fight a couple enemies. Oh, I guess I don't have to. It is kind of clever to put it this close. Not that clever, though. It's something you have to get to the end of the level to be able to do, but it's still at the beginning of the level. How'd I get so much Amrita? Oh well. Pull up, I guess. I've gotten a few more levels since last time around. But grinding up to this point has been much slower in the game. Doing it much earlier on. Honk, 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 honk. No wonder they went extinct. Well, the only thing left to do is to engage the boss. I've never fought this dude over here. How did that miss? The Tonfas can be fine, apparently. I don't think they're, like, good weapons. But I don't think many people would call them bad weapons either. They're just... like, they exist, I guess. Apparently, it's one of these horror. Wow. Those things take a lot of damage whenever you finally break through their weird purple stamina. Good for them. I think you actually have to kill these. Oh, fucker. You're supposed to do a little move where you recharge your stamina. You fucker. Alright, stop flipping around. What I don't like about Tonfas, they deal, like, their damage is so low that Their damage is low because they're supposed to be stamina, like, shattering weapons. Which is to say they have no real advantages in a game in which you don't really... a cute trick to break something's stamina, but... like it's gonna do that much. Oh, unfortunately now we have to do this boss fight. And I don't remember much about this boss fight, other than it's kind of a pain in the butt. Something about big sea monster comes up out of the ground, water, and it has tendrils, and you have to fight the tendrils. They're weak to fire, and it makes little dudes you also have to kill. I just remember it taking a long time because of the damage that you deal. Something like that. Alright. Plain blue shirt. Probably looks black in this light even. Alright. The archer above. Alright, good night. As anyone's... How many viewers do we have? Like mine just says 8 because it's, you know, age. Yeah, it takes damage to fire. Yeah, there's one kind of tonfa where it has like guns so that you could do an explosion or attack or something. That's the late game. As you use the torches, you will let the boss spawn ads. Is that what it is? I remember there was some sort of weird mechanic to it. I also remember helping other players with it, and other players having a lot of problems with it, even with the summon. I wonder how many of those stupid, what they called? Those weird cups that you're supposed to use for, summoning in help? What does this do? Special candle that summons guardians. I think that's what it is. I was just curious how many of those I've gotten. Because I was killing a whole bunch of revenants for... I may not be able to see unless I'm at a shrine. But I haven't used the co-op at all this playthrough so far. I think the logic of it taking more damage from fire is that it's actually made of like tar or something. Like, look at it whenever it pops up. So even though it's in the water, it's because it looks like this. But I guess that's what it's supposed to be. Doesn't matter, I'm gonna hide. Like, I don't remember enough about this. I probably should damage that. Oh, well, thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it. Cool. Thanks, even though I was holding the block button. That's cool. Better switch weapon. Whoa! Took a lot of damage, even though, yeah. Yeah. Take damage even through blocking. Oh. Man, you don't get much time. Not doing much damage either. I guess you really do need to use the fire. Probably shouldn't use it right away though. Oh, you can do it without targeting the glowy bit. Damn it, is it? Nice camera work. Appreciating that. works a little bit better. Not so much. Nice. Did that while I was using the scroll that makes you survive being dead. Just so happened at that very moment to use its one-hit kill attack that I forgot existed. Ow. Good thing I have shit tons of healing materials since I never use them. Like I'm one of those, like I actively hate taking damage, so I just... come on, really? So I have plenty of that. That's what bothers me about healing systems like that, whether it's Bloodborne or this game, actually having to farm items. That's the reason why I don't use them, because I know that I'll just be punished for it in long. Oh, I wanted to check. I wanted to check and see how those things I have. I've got 37 of those cups. I don't know if that's hot. I don't. All right. Also, probably a little bit too tired. Also, dying in one hit probably. That probably could have. Dying in one hit. There's. Huh. I remember going around that all the time. I must have never killed him. Reason. Maybe I was stupid. Probably would. Cool. Real cool. Very cool. Love it when enemies hold up something and then just wait until you roll and then do it. Love it when bosses. That's Reaper, by the way, that I'm using. Not always effective. Because it does seem to do a little bit less damage than just pressing R1 all the time. It does sometimes. And it depends. It'd break his stamina doing that, though. Is that what causes him to shoot over like this? Breaking his stamina? Motherfucker. Even through the block. Don't you dare! Acted like he was going to try to... He was going to try to fall through the... Saw it coming. I was wondering, I was actually thinking, at what percentage does he start doing that? Apparently really early. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna... This is gonna take several tries, and I'm not gonna be happy during any of them. Mainly because my damage is so low. I think the animation set of the boss is more or less phased, that he's taking too long. So I'll probably have to start using that fire. I didn't want to use it too early, but it's... Come on, sweet thing. Move it. I guess you do way more damage if you hit the glowy bits. I think that's what's going on. Come on, stop putting the fucking weapon up there and go. Don't you dare. Don't you fucking... He does it right away. Wow. That's far more effective. Ah, fuck you two. Fight afterwards. Much more effective. Much more effective. Did not expect it to be that effective. Oh, move. I don't even remember this part, like this phase, what's going on. Hi. Actually, let me just do this. I do not remember this. Probably because it didn't happen very often. By the way, pressing the thing that activates it again doesn't do anything. Since I kept getting that advice over and over again. People kept telling me to do that, but it doesn't do anything. No, whatever. Congratulations, me. Using that fire. Pretty vital to the fight, apparently. Like, incredibly vital in every way. Is it even possible to do that without doing that part? Okay, lesson learned, I guess. Here I thought it was like, well, I get 3 of them to use, and stacking it with your normal attacks probably will do, like, I don't know, about twice as much damage. Something, you know, kind of crazy. Pretty high amount. Didn't expect it to be like 5,000 times the normal amount of damage. Those number buffs, really important. Gotta do those Excel spreadsheets. Also, this game has, like, the most boring main story game ever. There's 2 sides, and I guess one of them is making demons. There's a lot of scenes of this of people just, like, sitting in rooms saying so-and-so doing sure is. Fascinating. I will be the next boss of the area. Fascinating. Ow. Riveted right now. The black arts. The black arts. I said black. Oh no, they're using black. He's the evil bad man. He's got our Gaelic spirit waifu. Is that the only like weird monster spirit thing in the entire game that isn't Japanese? Because of perp. That's the Gmail getting made. I'll leave for a minute. Good work. Some guys whose name I can't pronounce off. Feel free to tell some other guy that you're our group of assholes big politics. Fascinating. Nioh's story is just riveting. I think that's part of the reason why I don't like these Japanese feudal games. It's just that they're so fucking boring. Nothing happens. It's always just some group of assholes whose name you can't pronounce. Like, oh, they're fighting this other group, and it has some sort of context that only a Japanese person would understand, and even then, they probably don't care either. And the thing that's actually interesting is usually just, oh, there's also demons over here, but none of them have names or personalities, so they kind of just exist, which is the problem with this game, too. So, there's a bunch of Onis. Do they have a leader? Like, what's their objective? They're just kind of just assholes. Around. Kill them if you see them. And that's it. That's all it is. Every game like this. They're all the same fucking thing. They're all boring. Well, anyways, I guess we'll stop there. Since it's the middle of the night. And I should not have been streaming anyways. Hour and a half is not that bad. I guess I shouldn't set bare minimums of 3 hours of stream. Yeah. Well, I'll take that back. Because oh, we have to go to... Hold on. I'll show the next region cutscene. Because I'm sure that'll be a thing. Then I'll end it. Because I'm sure we'll make a boat and then we'll sail somewhere. And it'll be fascinating. And since I'm there, I'll probably have to do the next mission. So we repaired our ship after beating a tentacle hentai monster. We sail over here, and we get to meet with asshole. That's it. Come on, give me something. Gotta go out with a bang. Give me something here. And a black string. There we go. Okay. More spirit animals. Everyone's got their own little spirit animal buddy.
This one has absolutely no power. Anzo, do you seriously follow this pretentious little prick?
I actually like that. Think about having tons of scars on your face means you're either a badass or you have failed a whole bunch. Like you're a giant screw. And you're taking, obviously, huge amounts of damage. Either you're a dumbass or you're just really, really good. Weapon skills am I using? Whatever it allowed me to do, I guess. I barely have any skill points. I haven't been really farming patient, whatever it's called, familiarity. Haven't been. Looks like finally got more access. It's kind of weird. I expected there to be more skills, but like I keep expecting there to be a second page or something. But really, there's not that many. Kind of interesting. So yeah, it's just up to this point, whatever I was available up to this. So I've only invested in that and the Tonfa. Everything else is just whatever. The Odachi has more than it normally would have because that was my secondary when it started. So I realized that has absolutely nothing to. That's the problem with strength weapons in this game, like the axe or the Odachi, is they're tied to stats that nothing else is. So either you run 2 strength weapons, and why would you? Like they're both going to be slow weapons, so why would you do crazy? Or you run a strength weapon and then something that has nothing to do with your stat line. Not a great idea. Alright, what do we got here? bunch of submissions already. I don't have to worry about that. Usually I have to worry about running a main mission on stream so that I have access to screw off with.
Amazing.
Spider Nest Castle. This is where I stopped. In my prior playthrough, this is the mission, I think, if it involves Spider Lady. This is the one where I would have stopped. This is it. So already we're up to the point where I stopped playing. Well, apparently did not get very far at all. Doesn't bother me too much. Alright. That's it for now. That's it for now, I guess. Because it is the middle of the night. Spear is easy mode because it has always been easy mode throughout all of history. The main weapon of choice for everyone has never been a sword, it has always been a spear. And a sword if you absolutely need to have a sword. Out. Got a water. Enjoy the rest of your 4 a.m. or whatever it is now. It's probably actually about morning. Probably sunrise over in the East Coast, so go away, I guess, for now. I'll give out the Discord link. All of it. I never do that anymore, so here. Enjoy. Now, guys, get out of here. Go away forever. While I add gripling. Goodbye. Oh, not in these.